If you're just getting started in the world of filmmaking, there is one camera, only one camera right now that I think you should get, and it's this one. And let me tell you why. Yes, it's the Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Some of you spotted it in the previous video and wanted me to make a video about it. I've been trying one out, thinking about getting one, and I think it's fan-dabby-dozy. That's good, by the way. So here's 5 reasons to love the new Blackmagic Pocket Cine Camera 4K. But first, a shout out to the sponsor of this video, Squarespace, the place to go for setting up your own domain, website, or online store. To be honest, it doesn't actually really matter what kind of camera you get, but it's just that a lot of cameras these days focus on photos and videos. This doesn't focus on photos at all, it just focuses on video. In fact, it doesn't even really focus on build quality because this is quite a plasticky body. It feels like those Iowa sound systems you get from the 1990s with the flashing lights. This doesn't have any flashing lights, it has a tally light, but no flashing lights unfortunately. No graphic equalizers, just a pure 4K video shooting machine. And that's all that matters, right? Well, nothing prepared me for the plastickiness of that. Crazy. And also Blackmagic Design Pocket Cine Camera. Pocket? I mean pocketable for who? A T-Rex? And also just the buttons and switches and everything feel like they came straight off that Iowa stereo system that I was talking about. I mean, look at that. Who uses switches like these days? Oh, and it's got a flap here. Oh, guess what? Guess what, people of the internet? It's got 2 card slots. Lucky you. Lucky indeed for those slot sluts, but as well as SD and C fast, you can add an external SSD for those who aren't content with just 2 slots. And here we've got mic, headphone, HDMI, power, USB and XLR in. I mean, oh God, I can't even put this back. All these port covers, but it doesn't matter. It's all about what you do with it, as they say, not how cheap the camera is. Yes, finally after about 2 hours I got that back in. Brilliant, let's go. But all that super cheap cheesy tackiness is all the reason to love it because it's lightweight, it's not as heavy as a GH5. It's lighter than a GH5 for God's sake. I don't know whether it will be robust, it's definitely not going to win any awards for its styling, but for a video user it has pretty much what you need at your fingertips, so no more fussing about the design please. Alright, now let's switch it on to see what's made of, other than plastic of course. And I still can't get this back in. Beaten by rubber flap. No fussing! No, okay, let's switch it on. Boom! Takes a couple of seconds to switch on. About 3 or 4 seconds. That is one massive screen. I mean, it's all about screen. Now, this has got a micro four thirds sensor, so you can use micro four thirds lenses. Makes sense, right? And it's a touch screen, which makes using it incredibly easy. Okay, let's set it up. That massive 5-inch touchscreen is nice and easy to use. If I have any complaint, it's that you can't tilt it. I'm not talking about vlogging screens, but even a tilt for waist level shooting would have been nice. The menu on this is one of the best I've seen. It's so easy to use. It's self-explanatory. I don't even need to explain it to you. I'm just gonna show you the menu right now. Wow! ProRes. You've got HQ422LT. Well, I'm pretty much just reading whatever's on the screen right now. At least they've designed the interface well. This is probably the easiest cine camera to use. It's easy to use than some consumer cameras, and that makes the whole process of getting into using cine cameras that much less daunting. In fact, if you step up to the Ursa Mini, which is not so mini either, oh, the jokers at Blackmagic, you'll find the cheapo buttons and switches a familiar sight, but also the interface is the same. It has more features, but isn't too much more difficult to operate. And as I was saying, because this is not a photo camera that also takes good video, all the buttons are just dedicated for video use. It makes sense. It doesn't have any modal or any buttons that share functions. Look, it's got a button just for high frame rate. I mean, you can switch from 25 FPS to 60 FPS, just like that. Of course, it will still have the 180-degree shutter. There's also a button dedicated to punching in to check focus if that big screen and bright red peaking aren't obvious enough. So you just switch that, shoot, high frame rate, and record. Bam! If only all cameras could switch from normal frame rate to higher frame rate with one button press so easily, the world would be a much better place. You've got most of the video features you need at the press of one button. Then we've got 3 function buttons here on the top. Well, this one is for false color. This one is for your LUT. You can put your LUTs straight onto this, which you can preview just by pressing that button. And then the third one's frame lines. Those 3 function buttons are customizable to do whatever you want them to do, well, apart from making you a cappuccino. Not that magical then, obviously. And you've got 3 more buttons here. ISO, that's your shutter degree angle. White balance. If you're not using a lens with ISO, it can look a bit shaky, understandably, but if you have a firm grip and wide angle, it looks quite alright. It helps that a rolling shutter is quite reasonable on this. Okay, enough of that, it's making me feel dizzy! And one useful thing is that I can power it by AC power. AC, AC/DC. Incredibly useful, yes, given that I could barely get an hour of usage out of the camera on one fully charged LPE6 battery. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the Blackmagic Pocket Camera Cine Pocket Blackmagic Pocket Cine Camera 4K BMPCC 4K. It's the most ridiculous acronym ever. The acronym is longer than most camera names already. But no, the Blackmagic Pocket Cine Camera 4K. Yay, I got it right. It's a fantastic camera. It's nice, isn't it? It's so cute. It's got a little tally light there. Tally light, and I've hooked up to the Atomos Ninja because otherwise I don't know if I'm focused or not. It does autofocus, but not continuously, but the speeders, well, you'll probably fall asleep while waiting for the thing to focus properly. It is exactly as the name says. It shoots cine quality video from a camera that is, actually it's not possible. No, it shoots cine quality footage in a camera that is quite baggable. I suppose Blackmagic Baggable Cine Camera wasn't exactly a catchy name, right? Who cares what it's called, really? Call it Doris if you like, less syllables, because it's all about the image, and this is where it doesn't disappoint. It's gonna be hard to beat the video image you get from this, from any camera $3,000 or less, and this is from a tiny little sensor. Part of the appeal of the image is the super clean shadows you'll get. It has dual native ISO 400 and 3200, but it changes to the upper gain circuit at 1250, so ISO 1600 will probably look better than ISO 800. You still get nice looking shadow detail up to ISO 6400, obviously better than GH5 versus GH5S, dunno, don't have one. Of course, when I say this is the best way now to start off with filmmaking, you don't have to get this, of course. There are things like the Sony A7 series, which are great, the Sony A7 III. You get things like continuous autofocus, good low light, good dynamic range. And then there are cameras that are better for vlogging, like say the Canon EOS R, crop, or the GH5. As good as these options are for video and perhaps better for things like YouTube, there's still cameras that do video quite well. The Blackmagic is a cine camera with features meant for serious video users and arguably has much better looking colours than both the Sony and Panasonic. But bearing in mind the image you can get from the Blackmagic Design Pocket Cine Camera 4K, for that price, that's pocket money. Save the best for last, $1,300, 1,100 quid. That is ridiculously cheap. It makes getting into filmmaking affordable to a lot of people, and that will beat a camera that looks good, feels well built, or fits in the pocket that does less anytime. So there we have it. It's always nice when there's a camera that's had its price watered down, but not its features. Cine cameras can cost you a bomb, but this is proof that it doesn't need to cost you an arm and a leg. Now, I'm just going to finish on a tweet from a guy called Chef Daddy and Daughter. Is that one person or two people? Anyway, he said, wish you would produce some more how-to videos. Again, your old stuff was comedy gold. I love watching everything you create, but camera reviews are getting stale. I'm totally feeling you because it has been just product after product after product, but it has been nuts. It's Photokina season. Everybody's announcing their new products, so it has just been product after product after product, and there probably will be a few more products after this, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to get back into the whole routine of some varied content, alright? So yes, please be patient with me. I don't want it to be all product reviews also, but before I say please subscribe and tickle that like button, one last shout out to the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. If you ever want to build a website, it's the perfect place to go. It makes things easy, even for idiots like myself, because it's got templates and it's got such an easy user interface. So yeah, if you want to build a website, please do check them out. Thank you. With a load of templates to choose from, award-winning 24/7 customer service, a simple way of changing domain names over. I did it. It's great for people who want to create a personal website or one for e-commerce. You can start a free trial today and get 10% off your first purchase with the code KAI. And the Blackmagic Design